Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. The Honorable, the faculty members, the Faculty of Education, Dr. Bambang, Dr. Destina, and Dr. Charina, and also Honorable guest speaker, Ibu Naning Triwahyuni PhD, and all of my PhD and MA college. Thank you all for being here today. Good afternoon and welcome to the 29th Lunch Talk hosted by Faculty of Education, Universitas Islam International Indonesia. My name is Faradila Haryani and I will be your moderator for today's event. Today's event will be consisting of 45 minutes presentation from the speaker and then continued by the Q&A session. Ladies and gentlemen, to start the event, let us begin with the opening remarks from Faculty of Education that will be represented by Dr. Destina. Dr. Destina, the time is yours. Good afternoon, everyone. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Dear students and all the participants and respected colleagues, and also scholar in residence that today will be the speaker for this lunch talk. Welcome to the monthly program of the Faculty of Education. We have this lunch talk every month, and I think we never skip months without lunch talk and become our regular activities. And I also welcome. I think I see some faces that maybe not familiar. Maybe a friend of Dr. Oh, through Zoom. Okay. They also might listen. We welcome to this session. So today I represent the head of the Faculty of Education, Dr. Nina Nurmila. So our dean at the moment is in Iran for the business trip, and then today I represent her to welcome everyone to join our 29th lunch talk. Today we will have Ibu, let me read the complete name, Ibu Naning Triwahyuni PhD. Later on, Mbak Fani will explain in detail about her. So I just recite that Dr. Naning will be the speaker today, and she will discuss about building bilingual bridges. So she will talk about the strategies for students and parents to motivate the young learners. So we're looking forward to hear Dr. Naning to present her thought. So hopefully for today, all participants can get the insight from her. And we always hope that these monthly activities can bring, like new knowledge, discuss things from ideas and also thoughts among not only academia, but also maybe from all fields that related to education. So again, welcome to our session. Thank you so much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Dr. Destina, for the remarks. Respected audiences, we are now coming to the main event, the presentation from Ibu Naning Triwahyuni PhD with the topic Building Bilingual Strategies for Schools and Parents to Motivate Young Language Learners. I would like to welcome Dr. Naning to sit here together with us. Thank you, Dr. Naning. So before we actually having the Dr. Naning's presentation, I would like to introduce our speakers today. Dr. Naning Triwahyuni is a distinguished scholar with a PhD in Applied Language Studies and Linguistics from Auckland University, New Zealand, completed in 2023. She is currently a scholar in residence at the Faculty of Education, Universitas Islam International Indonesia. Dr. Wahyuni has an extensive academic background, having served as a research and postdoctoral fellow at the University of Auckland. Additionally, she holds a casual contract as an academic fellow at the School of Cultures, Linguistics at the University of Auckland. Her research interests lie in the first and second language learning development and acquisition, particularly focusing on children up to 12 years old. She also deeply involved in psycholinguistics and educational psychology, with a keen interest in motivation, engagement, learner's agency, and identity. Dr. Wahyunis also worked in a family language policy, examines the impact of parenting styles and cultural influences on children's language development. Last but not least, professionally, she is also actively engaged in contemporary and global approaches to language learning and teaching, including active learning, communicative language teaching, and the integration of technology in education. Next, we'll hear the presentation from Dr. Nandri Wahyuni. The time for the presentations will be 45 minutes, Ibu, and then we will continue by the question and answer session. Our dear respected audiences, please welcome Ibu Nandri Wahyuni, PhD, to deliver the presentations to the stage. Dr. Nandri, the time is yours. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, before we start our lecture this afternoon, allow me to say thank you very much for any parties who facilitated my talks this afternoon. First, to the institutions, UGI, nations international Islamic University, and also to the Faculty of Education, where currently know that I'm doing academic visiting program. And second, to Romina, is not here, so I think so for colleagues here, lecturers and scholars who have been very generously support me, a newcomer, coming into the picture recently and trying to fit in. It's a bit confused at the beginning, but okay, no, thank you very much. And then some third to all the academic staff here, who are very, very helpful and also ambitious doing their job, Mbak Afra, and Mbak Nurul, Mbak Supians, and others. And the last but not the least, to all students who I found very enthusiastic, engaging in all my encounter with you, whether in the classroom activities, in gathering events, other places, maybe just passing by limits around the university news. Thank you for joining my talk this afternoon. Hopefully, million slots. Hopefully, it give valuable information for all of us, particularly addressing adults' role in helping young language learners in their learning development. Because we are all adults here, right? Maybe as educators, or maybe for students, for, as a future educators. And I believe some of us here also parents, yeah, parents, and then so just like me. So I'm here speaking not from my PhD research or my work, but also from my own experience as a mom. Having three children, they were born in three different countries, growing up, in between, like a multicultural environments, fighting to survive, to adjust. So my experience, the struggling, the presumed falling in failings, I experienced when helping my own kids, crying when my kids are crying, and then happy when they're happy, also when trying when they succeed, when they adapt and adjust. I think it's gonna be a kind of a message inside my setting today, a part of recent activities, because my research specifically in this area. Right. So okay, I'm gonna start my presentation today with the introductions. Yeah, just comments and research, like research aim, and then theoretical framework, methodology, process brief, and we go a little bit detail in finding and discussion, and then some takeaway messages, theoretical principles, significance, and also contributions from my work. Right. So, okay. So, okay. So my focus of research is investigating Indonesian primary school student developments of interest in learning English, classroom-related activities, and parental involvement. I think I'm better still that. So, first, what I did is exploring factors associated with student interest, situational and individuals, and then understanding the development of student interest, covering situational and also exploring parental involvement and exploring children interest development. Let's look at this. Moving on this. Right. Okay. So the theoretical frameworks I built is covering like ages in language learning, interest and learning, school and parents' role in the child language developments. Okay, and then so yeah, it will be a warming up from so technically listen before we move forward. So talking about learnings, what do you think is the difference between adult and children? Why we have to make a particular cases to address children? Learning is just learning. We learn something. So why we have to make particular discussion on children? Okay, what do you think? Come on, warming up a little bit. Guys, you are just having your lunch break. Some of my maybe is really this is I draw from several review here from several literature. Most of them is more goal oriented, right? And then more practical, relevant, self-directed, task-oriented, exploring, problem center, intrinsic motivation, and children learn willingly and naturally when they like the object, the activities, and also the environment. Some people might say, oh, they have moral childhood, but children, they think about having fun rather than having learning to play, right? Especially at the 11 years old. And then for them, learning is as natural as breathing. So it's just like a flow. It's natural. We're going to discuss religion and religion. A little bit different between minus. Okay? And then so what makes children special? Why we have to make a difference in segregated between children, young adults, and adults? Happens anyone who joined with yeah, sharing yes last week in the class sharing we discussed a bit. Yeah. Right. So yeah. I think we know yeah about this yeah that children's yeah they are in their golden ages yeah optimal learning habits optimal brain functioning they grow first while we are talking we always stop but there's the and then children learn the language quicker than adults, especially concerning communication skills. So don't think about motivation or writing a paper, of course, we will compare about that, yeah. But communication was the prominence goal for language is communication. The efforts of implies needed, right? And children are better picking up new words, imitating, copying from the native even they are better at pronunciation. My kids often criticizing my pronunciations. They are better at pronunciation than me. And it's common. And the children who have a chance living in native speaker, native English speaker, they tend to be quicker and quicker copying, imitating native speaker speech rather than content. We are all stuck with our body. Right. So recalling notes, we done discuss in Mr. Risk class also last week. Yeah. A brief uh, a brief review of what the development of learning values. So from behaviorism, cognitivism, constructivism, humanism, and relativism. So what do you think in our current era? Which theories colors more prominently in education? We have read topic of education and must know about, right? So what do you think? Which one? Behaviorism is when the decades ago. Mhm. So, if we see clearly, we experience clearly in our current educational practices, humanisms, cognitivisms, and connectivism basically is how behavior in local educational practices, where student well-being puts into more concerns by educator. We have to pay more attention on student well-being, their individual knowledge, their individual learning styles. That's what humanism supports. And constructivism, because knowledge is constructed, not imitated, just like behaviorism. And knowledge also constructed with the influence from others, not like nativism, constructivism, because there's interaction that helps children develop their knowledge, processing their knowledge in their brains. And then connectivism, especially we are in the technology advancement. People need to connect their minds. And with this, research on personalized learning also progressing. So some essential questions in education are questions like how we, as a teachers, as educators, need to incorporate our students' interests and then preferences, and also goals and values into the cognitive functioning. So basically, in the current era, it's not only cognitive ability, but also effective science of learning. So we have to make the children happy when they are living, when the emotions. It's not only seeing components in the mind. This is my era. Maybe Mr. Bambang era. Mr. Bambang in my era, yeah. We were heavily burdened by the school curriculum. Then we are bombarded by material, so we have to finish based on the curriculum, something like that. You see, with the next picture, when students enjoy the learning, they happy, they confidence to raise up their hands, asking questions, voicing up their opinions. So that's what we call experience effective spectrum learning. It's not only cognitive. Okay? So this was so one of the affected sides that currently also widely used is interest, student interest. Because when we look for interest, it's always always right. When we look for interest is and the student characteristic that you give a choice to children, give a them freedom to choose which one they choose. Two choices for example, like this one, which one they choose. Then you know that when you are interested. The text may be similar. You teach math. The material may be similar, but how the way you deliver the material are different and the affecting on the children's difference, on the children language. Also that's also whereas in people. Now talking about this, what is training is. There are a lot of concepts related to this, such as training, reverse, signification, emotion, but continuous definition coined by Renier and Deep, this two scholars has been researching interest all the decades from 1990 something until now, but the last book the word is interest as a motivation factor. Because choose the definition point interest is student response. Student response to the environment, and the environment can be activity, can be material, learning material, and can be environment, physical environment in the classroom, also as a motivation unit. So interest is some states, student responses, also as a motivation. And even without the development of interest, because we want to examine students, children classroom, is there are two types of interest, situational and individual. Situational, that's bounded by situation, bounded by the stimulation, and individual because it's already embedded in their character, long lasting. So we know now that interest also from external nature and also from net and people, appointment and task. It's real, it's physical ways to learning, education. So it's why understanding student interest is important for teachers. We have to understand what type of interest our student. It's not only in the material, it's not only in the instruction material, it's also in the instruction methods, also in the environments, how to research the question. So as a teacher, we have a child, right? Learning students, develop our studies. We have to develop our this. And as the next review, after this document very good start visit, also summarize and which the explain and appendix or slides and write the report and words for works and it will currently these is the start and to learners and I to be discipline and discipline parents. Again, this kind of practice is a very, very useful teacher. And the team is to create errors and receive journal and subject on problems like modeling in which this survey investment and enrollment first. Right. Research habits. I started with the study in school as a home-based investigation. At school, I was investigating consumer activities. I mean, upsells. Also, at home, investigating practice. Actually, I had such wonder. Just and that's which because in Murray, we use statements, yeah, and automatic in the process after collection. Well, wait, one is good, and this is actually now the company the nationals is not national. It is the rules. The also they already also about the nationals. Was that in this house. Yes, and from the previous floor and also joining the this process. So that has from the as student and more teachers in the that was where information access actually the student and then so more visa. That one is from the resource. Okay, and then so the examination of individual picture and the construction of individual interest visa. And for visas, the proposed visa audit as examined twice. Sorry, both of them for 6 months, one semester. 9 time for SIQ and 3 time for regulatory. And so after that, one of them, which is rational interesting, so because that's related to classroom learning activities, I did a validation as well. And this is the instruments for what we did from the questionnaire and then video observation and some external lectures and systematic analysis with the help of NVIDIA for the quantitative data and also factual analysis for recommendations and translations from instrument but from the right. So this is the finding from thematic analysis. Ions of factor a withdrew from the thematic analysis and narrative story from the student and 3 individual factor. And from this, I construct what IIQ and SIQ from references. So this is the sample how I did summarize the conclusion for the salient themes here. Salient themes that's intentionally refer to factorials together, specs, and people actually have used. And so this is for the factorial analysis. Something that some highlights from these findings I want to highlight, yeah, as a technique is this, you say this factorial analysis, the 9 factors involved, that's I call observable variable, because the student explicitly mentioned, oh, I like the topic today. I like playing game today. I enjoy the lesson today. So they explicitly mentioned. But from them, I make a connection with the Latin variables. Because that what factorial analysis does, yeah. Observable and the Latin variable. So there are two Latin variables as interest, refer to topic interest and activity interest, and then cognitive affective engagement, and why, boredom, enjoyment, focus, attention, recipient, and self-efficacy, and the last one is learning development, knowledge gain, learning to achieve. And this is the methods from CN. So that one is the 78, 88, 71 is like a factor relation, and middle is like factor loadings. 65 the connections more relation. What is interest and observable variable. This is just to know what people is like to validate whether our instrument actually validates for the testing. Right. So the highlighted finding from the first study, as first study, is this one. So initially, in many literature, I learned that process is put more as an affective state. Yes. But from this factual connection, see, basically, interest is practically, principally, always related to cognitive sides. So interest as an affective side always related to cognitive sides. The kind of okay. So basically, there is a bridge between affective and cognitive. Interest can be called as a bridge, can be called like a connecting factor or something like that, because they are connected in the process of learning. And then the next one is this one. Want to highlight another primary as well. This is the instruments here. The instrument, the product from testing, SIQ and RIQ. I call it physical.
because I tried that not only across lessons, so like lesson one, lesson two, lesson three, over one academic semester, but it can be used within one period of learning to assess the art in the fluctuation of student interest. So as a teacher, we can assess what problems, where the student interest comes in, what problem. So you basically can look at the lessons from lesson one, lesson two to choose which topic, which kind of activities students are interested. But if you use the instrument between lesson to lesson or academic, like what I did in my thesis, but actually you can do that in one business. To monitor internal fluctuation of student input during one period of learning. Right. Okay. So now we come to the investigation. Okay, so I did quite times research arranged for its family principles and Alhamdulillah because I worked at this school since 2014. It was easy for me to find willing participants because going to house, and then do examination, um, they get acknowledged is not easy. It can handle as well, especially if you're a new researcher, you're working with the new people. I did plan initially to work overseas in Auckland, so I did want me to go home to Indonesia, but then there are a lot of problems in the process of ethical process, and also of finding village families being very different. So that's why I chose to return to Indonesia. It has it was easier, working with families, and even easier because with people, small people with school to work with and with the families. I also do it. Right. So interviews is conducted in every visit. This ends what we call like conversational interview. So we talk and about family activities and then some what the kids actually doing at home. The observation I did naturally as well. I mean, I asked our parents help was just do what you normally do at home. So I just mingle with them. Sometimes I sit down and sit down and somewhere and observe. And sometimes, not sometimes, most of the times I sit with them like observe what the kid actually did after Maghrib, even in playing, what kind of activities and things like that. So it was quite interesting. And I visit has lasted for 2 hours until 8 in the evening. Right, so instruments, we structure interviews, observation notes, text and artifacts, and then the child as the curator. Nice. Okay, and then for analysis, I use semantic and analysis. So this is like a summary from my finding. Okay, this the best participants named Aryo. He was what we call like a perfect student, a diligence, and then top tier student in the class, and exhibiting high influence, motivation. But I didn't choose him because of parents. So I did not have any idea what his parents look like, what kind of impact. I just I just picked him up based on the so 6 or 8, 12 of us, 12, and then go to 8, go to 1. Actually, from the level of interest, level of motivation, and level of achievement. So there is no kind of pre-plan for parents. Then, so when I go to start visiting the house, when I know that Ario actually has a very conducive environment, so environment. His parents work in the house population, what was very motivated people, what parents, mother and father import clothes in study, daily study, establishing times, home learning times every night. Also send Arya to have English courses in ER for 3 years already. That's when that's during my study, and also standing for competition. You know, the English student have a competition yeah. And as they are also very good in terms of computer importance from modeling, so enforcement, instruction, reworking, instruction, facilitation, encouragement, these activities, those activities. And also for critical and behavior of the parents, parents. So between mother and father, they act in balance. Sometimes the mother did not have enough time, so the father will she fix and hormone ecosystems. That's for I learned from Arya. And then at the end of semester, when I did some explaining, we can see that for in terms of interest, in terms of interest, he was able to maintain in a high level of interest. The scale is between 5 and 6. I will show you this. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. The Likert scale. And the medical high grade achievement stay at the top of the student, among the top students in the top achievement. That's my first participants. And the second one is Elisa. This was academic oriented student, close to Arya in terms of achievement, but just close, but still a little bit below Arya. And so there are different ones, but in terms of grades, still below Arya. And Elisa was initially academic oriented, a person with the goal learning English for academic professional. So she said to me that no, I do not really English. And so coincidentally, uh, her parents also work in house education, and so they want Lisa to pursue career at the doctor in future. So science and math were our favorite subject, not English. But the thing is, this school is using English instruction and also embrace Cambridge curriculum. So 3 subjects taught in English: English, science, and math. So there was kind of obligation for students to learn English. So they had to. And but there's okay about the parents. At least some parents just like parents, so authoritative to go to the parents with that a balance practices between discipline, also at some extent allow their children to decide to choose. It's not really strict parent decide everything for their children, but they also have a kind of boundaries. I know that people is opposite while giving a space, enough space for children. And some parents' involvements, they are good, yeah, good and encouragement, facilitation, instruction, place, threat, but not more. Because Elisa's moms also has not quite what specific interest in English, not language what still taught me like I'm not language, it's not language, my brain is not language brains. I'm not good at languages. So they don't have different with different with the other parents. They like English, they learn English. Even they sing English songs. So in terms of modeling, I don't think Elisa's parent has the same degree of involvement in audience. But again, because Elisa is academic oriented students, she wants to be at the top in every school subject. And I think somehow she developed interest. Well, at the end of the data collection, at the end of my study, I asked her for my interest, and she said that, yes, I think I understand now. I think I understand the value of learning English. I think I understand that mastering English is very important in my ability to understand the words. So she wants the value of learning English. She gave kind of a chance for herself to explore, to find the meanings, even though she's academic oriented. And she maintains a good grades. And her interest also improved from just neutral into the higher in 3 until 4. Not 6 like just first term building. So still in very good grades. Yeah. And then some Hannah, was quite unique among my 12 initial participants. She didn't really care about the English, and she voiced up her feelings gladly. Well, I don't really like English music. I just like noise or silence. And at the end, I didn't choose who are the families for my participants, but just instantly. Arlo and Lisa and Hannah come from medical professional career. So maths and science subject are their priority. The priority for families for children. I think it's most of parents like the parents rather than languages. And Hannah parents also from music. So really doesn't did not incorporate environment. But also Hannah's parents are given depending that explanation that is Hannah has no interest. And I do not want to force my child, to learn something if they don't learn. That's my mother's situation. And beside, my children is still in childhood years. There's still times. But the thing is, husband told me that they care about their child, yeah, education, and try to send Hannah into some some institution, educational institution. One English institution, another one is come on. But Hannah was just joined like for a couple of meetings, several months, and then yeah. And that happens several times. But I know now, following these participants, I don't know following the indigenous. So I plan to continue my research with this student. I know that Hannah also had choose another school, so moved another school from the previous school, so like a three teaching school. So that's with the parents from EZ did not want to force their children, understanding that a child's need for well-being, something like that. It's not forcing her to make some goal. But there's result is Hannah exhibited undeveloped. So from the questionnaire, there's neutral to neutral. And the thing is for academic achievement, so not only English, also from the average then. Attitudes, behavior, also the teacher said there is no team to so just class, something like that. Yeah. And then the last my participant is Zidane. Zidane is also unique. He was not academic oriented student. Here we talk about language. We talk about English, yeah. So sometimes when you think about academy, It's always practically equal to science, most STEM. But language is more flexible to like what we see in Zidane's. Zidane's family is immersed in English life. Plus, her mother is graduated from American study, and Zidane comes from lecture family, educated people. So his grandparents from both sides, mother and father side, are lecturers in public university in Sultan. So English is a part of their daily life. They watch English TV, English TV channels, and then they listen to English songs and events, the games. And Zidane plays also in English instruction. So basically, English is just their daily life. And Zidane doesn't feel the necessary English is for academics. See, he doesn't try to be like that. I learn English and I have to achieve top mark in English. She thinks that English is communication and that's in connection with how the parents also taught him. His mom taught me that I think learning English is for communication. It's not for academic. So I'm okay with this. As long as he doesn't need to be at the top of marks, but he can speak fluently. That's my goal for my son's learning English. That's Zidane's parents taught me. And Zidane also managed YouTube channel, his own YouTube, and develop English contents in English with the help of the mother. And in terms of presentation, there are a lot of group. So among the four participants, Zidane is the only child who have quite a vast collection of English book at home. It's not only children objects. So mean that reading English book is a part of family culture as well, the mother and the father as well. So this is what we call like natural. I call Zidane was natural language learning. Again, I did not choose Zidane purposely because I don't know. Zidane, I chose Zidane because her in his individual's profile. He shows a very high interest in English, but in the class he was kind of laid back student. It's not really so much motivation. But the thing is, her grade also good. You know what? When I asked Zidane, um, you have a good voice in English, but you were really showing any interest in the classroom in DVD. And she said, it's boring. It's boring. I know all of them is amazing. It's so boring. Not much chance. Says. So Zidane basically in the different level of language English because of family immersed in English life. Okay, and then for the grades, Zidane was a great, yeah, among the top of student in Korea and class. And for the again for personal interest a questionnaire, student classroom activity, he sought justice neutral, but for individual interest, he developed from three and then but he didn't choose six like okay, but just five. But still in the five videos. Okay. Then so this is something we messages from my research that a child with a prior interest maintenance able to determine goals into their interest group, just like what we see from Zidane and some area, right? So this is for my three individual factors. Remember, three individual factors, prior interest, and then events, and the last one is personal goals. These apply to Zidane and Arya, even though Arya is related to academic learning and Zidane is now just hobby because this is language, right? Okay, and then child will determine academic goal, but with no prior interest, potentially develop their interest with where they keep their events, just like Elisa. Because by keeping the age as learners, giving them some opportunities to discover more values of their learning, just like what Elisa said to me at the end of the study. I know, I realize. Because if I am a great in English, I can study it. If I great in English, mean that I also great in other subjects because they are not in English. They have a very fluent. So, right, and then child with goals but no prior interest and like able and perseverance might not help in developing their interest in they may also like or giving chance of themselves to explore their learning. So they don't give opportunities to themselves to discover what for you. Just like what happened in Hungary. And then so this one concludes the goal and consistent efforts are critical. Private interest is important, but it can be not necessary. If there's a chance opportunity for the students, for the children to keep engaged with the so the space to develop is are at there as long as there's opportunity. And then for interest did not always determine academic performance. It doesn't mean that someone with interest is always, but it can help with maintenance. In the case of Hannah, it is indeed she was just in average, but she wasn't get rhythm. So basically, it's still even though she wasn't interested, but she was still keeping some efforts, and still managed having a good grades, even though still in average, average level. Yeah? And then interest promotes motivation and productive, meaningful engagement. So that's why, as a teacher, we have to uh, see. Yeah. As a teacher, our focus is not our main priority. Yeah, it's not for students who are very smart. Yeah. It's not for students who are very interested. But we have also focused on the student who needs more help. So you have to spot a student who are not interested. How can you stimulate their interest? Especially talking about liquids, it's very easy, right? You can develop the projects. So it's not like maths. Maybe maths are more challenging, yeah, to modify your teaching, yeah. But I think liquids, you can do project based, task based, right? So going messages from parental involvement. Um, I found that some parents help set their child interest, the goal, and aspiration. Just like in the case of Arya, his parents want uh, him to pursue a career in doctor, to become a doctor, but Arya chose another option and work in international relationship. But they understand Arya is good in their hearts by sending Arya to. Do you know that there is a program like homestay, EF facilitated homestay, right? So, and there is a program like correspondence with the overseas friendship correspondence, and areas parents very supportive. So helping their child to develop connections and emotion. And so some basic parental practices discovered and highlight here is alternative style, effective for the children who have self-driven motivation, studious, and have determined goals in learning, just like Arya and Elisa. They already have established discipline. So I think alternative parents work best for them. But then again, how about permissive style? It can work well, but it cannot work well. It depends on the character of children. As a, this finding for Zidane, it works well. Because Zidane, even though not interested in academic, but he has determined goal, even though it's not from academic. So basically, he has a developed kind of self-regulated learning based on his interests. And pervasive style, we see that did not work well in Hannah. a child that still need a lot of supervision, a lot of encouragement, and also a plenty motivation. I think a parent should be more accountable, not permissive only, giving more power in instruction and enforcement. Right, and then so these the strongest important for alternative is the instruction and enforcement, facilitation and provisions after, and then the strongest point in permissive parenthood, facilitation, provision, enforcement and motivations later. I think as adults we can, especially parents, we can learn from this how to keep a balance between all those type of importance. Okay, I think I see some people are sleepy. Sorry, too much talk here. We need to open discussion soon. So pedagogical implication because we are teachers. So when we research, we need to connect with the teaching practices, right? So we learn something from our research and then we can implement them in our teaching practices. So this is some pedagogical implication recommended by my study. And then so this particular study recommends anyone who want to to research further on these cases and some yeah I read many cases in America, yeah, researching in education learning development of children. They do mostly in children from lower socioeconomic, lower socioeconomic, and then so from children who have a problem, disability. I think that would be more perspective to do. Because unfortunately, my case is student from from middle class family with a educated parent. So maybe somehow something that's a little bit unsatisfied because because it's kind of predictable because they have educated families, yeah. And there's also enough facilitation at home. So for the future accommodation, it can be tried to family from low economic backgrounds and children with various background and academic achievement as well, interest, motivation. I think it's gonna be more for you to help. I think that's my material. So this is the instrument I developed was psychometry, something that now currently I discuss Pak Bambang to use Raspberry. And then this one is publication. Uh, in this one is list page, and there are two other one under revision and one under writing process. Okay, thank you very much. Sorry too much talk for the discussion. Just simply okay. Thank you. Thank you for the discussion.
Thank you, Ibu Dr. Naninti Wahyuni, PhD, for the very insightful and engaging presentations. So we have very powerful messages here, yeah, that it's not only teachers that has a role in educating, especially when we are educating language in young learners, but also it is also the roles of parents because again, the learning and development takes more time at the home environment rather than at the schools. So having both of them to be considered makes the students have a more meaningful experience in learning and development. All right, dear respected audiences, we will now open the floor for questions. For the audiences who have questions, please raise your hand. Okay, Mbak Nurul. Yeah. Okay, thank you for hi. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Ibu, for the very insightful presentation. I got very so many learning
or lessons that I got from this lunch law. I want to ask something that related as my role as a parent. I have one child. He is 2 years old. Although he is still young, I think it is important to prepare him to make some kind of preparation or training related to his academic journey. Um, I and my husband are educators. We are, yeah, every day, maybe almost every day, we are in campus or schooling or schools. What I want to ask is, with the limited time that we have as a parent, what kind of strategy that we can apply, what what we can conduct in a family circumstances that can build my son's interest. It's like to make him have a good learning goals, have a good interest in learning or lesson at schools later on. Because we only have some time, maybe we only meet him in at night after work. What kind of strategy that we can conduct? And related to the limited time, is there any term of quality time in building the interest of children? And then seeing parents' role is important in this case. What is your opinion in relation to the homeschooling? Maybe that's all I want to ask. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Very good. Sorry? No feedback. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for question. It's quite, yeah, it's a very nice question. Yeah, 2 years old, yeah. Okay, so the problem is limited time. Right, okay. And you also asked about homeschooling, the probability for homeschooling, right? Okay, now we come back to the topic of learning, 2 years. And thinking about development stages for 2 years. What children needs, for 2 years children, what they need. And we go to the development of PRC, yeah. So 2 years is more like psychomotoric, yeah, mostly psychomotoric, yeah. So I think so. We have to consider stages of development of our children, you know. So and following their needs based on the ages. About 2 years is more like psychomotoric, yeah, developments. So must be needs a lot of activity, physical activity, and also the stimulation of physics, exploration, and I think under 5 years old still needs mother and father's presence. Yeah, it's very challenging to be a parent. So to say in my case, I was coming back to it when my child is already entering the last year of preschool, so 4 years. So I was entering primary school and I started coming back to university, did my master again. So when I did come back to university, in my third child, the youngest one is already in primary school. After 2 years in my second master. Being a parent is very challenging and very watching. That's why it is around, yeah, parents, yeah, there are a lot of reward point for parents. And I know that the current situation for parents, they study full time, they work full time, can be challenging. If you can find extending helps like from uncles. The case from one of my principals, Alisa, her parents, asking help from uncle. So her mother's brother, who was very good at English, has a master in English at the moment. So they want Elisa to study as well. And then Elisa also has a private teacher. So the parents assign private teacher. But for 2 years, the kids is more physical parents maybe, or you can send to childcare because don't feel guilty to do that if you cannot avoid. Rather than you put your children at home or with the uh, caretakers who don't know anything about educations, what they have to do with the children. I think sending your children in educational institution like a nursery or preschool or school, it's not the best choice because parents still the choice for small children, but I think that's the second best choice. And when you have a time to, try to do your best to give up what we call a quality time. So like in the weekend, play outside and some connect with your children. Because I believe that children, the first the first people they look after, they have idols, right? And when they start entering teens, puberty, they start having idols, right? They start arguing with their parents. They usually parents their best children. So don't lose that chance. Don't lose that chance before you regret. That's the golden time of your children developmental progress. Okay, and then for homeschooling, is that for children, young children, or homeschooling? Yeah, homeschooling is not for 2 years old, right? So it's for like when they're entering formal school, like at least primary school. Okay. Well, I have a lot of friends who choose homeschooling rather than public school, or school outside means. Well, there are plus and minus in my opinions. And I don't know how the systems work in more detail, so I can't give any opinions. But based on my opinions, I can't give any a right opinion. It can be because I don't know. But based on my own experience, I think our children need also social interaction, social skill developments. So the development of character of children cannot be constructed alone. Social instruction is not with only with adults. Because homeschooling, so they have a limited contact with peers in their own age, right? So for me, it's still a public school. They engage with people, with the friends from different various people, various experience as well. I think that's brilliant for curriculum development. But it depends on parent choice, yeah. It's a totally parent choice. Because I have many friends who just the same. Okay, that's the answer my second. You know it? Okay, thank you, Ibu Nanik Triwahyuni PhD. We are coming to the second question. Yes, please.
Cek. Oke. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bu Nani, Andi from MA in Education. Before I will ask my questions, I would like to tell my basic. My basic is entrepreneur. So I go to schools, and the school always asking me how they creating bilingual. Many of my clients try to step ahead from the normal schools into the bilingual school. So first, I would like to ask, the first question would be, in the schools that you conducted the research, is it what kind of bilingual school in your schools? Is it they only use English, math, science as the particular, because many of the schools use English and the teachers only speak English with the students only in that math, science, and English, or they also invite native teachers to engage more bilingual program, or what kind of bilingual school? Because there are many schools basically they say that they are bilingual, but the connotation of the bilingual was, I'm sorry to say this, too bad. So there's nothing, it's only like, okay, because we use English and another subject, for example, like math, science, or even ICT sometimes, even though they only two subject they use, and sometimes the schools already declare that they are bilingual schools. Is it, and also, is there in your schools already using 100% English, or what kind of schools that you, what kind of school when you conducted the research? And the second question would be, in order to engaging more in English, what kind of the most favorite teaching method that really engaging for the student, because you say it's gaining interest is really important. So what kind of teaching method that really engaging for them? Maybe it would be different from the grade 1 to 3, and after that grade 4, 5, 6. And I just wanna know what kind of teaching method is really engaging. And for the bilingual process itself, basically what is the proper if they want to declare bilingual, because in academic hours they only in maybe it's only for 4 hours in within a week. One academic hour for primary is only 35 minutes, isn't it? Meaning that if they have 4 hours, meaning it's only 2 hours per week. Is it proper enough, or do you think it's need more hours for engaging bilingual in school? I think that's my questions. Bu Nani, thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
All right, thank you, Ms. Andi from Henry. So there are three questions in you. Yeah. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the questions. Okay, first about the bilingual school. I did more research here. So I have been looking at this schools since 2018, and there's a long history. The school initially is an Islamic school, and it moved gradually into the bilingual and then now international. So, and we call it bilinguals. Principally, you use two languages. Yeah? And here is Indonesian as national language and English as a medium of instruction. So, if you heard about AMI, English for Medium Instruction, a lot of paper addressing the base. So, two languages used in both instruction and communication. So they are coexisting. Where the percentage of application is depending on the school policy, right? So which one they target, the target. The uh, the often the more frequent they use English, maybe they want to be to support their children's the students to speak English fluently, quickly, expression or something like that. But if we talk about international language, it should be English, yeah, as international language used in both communication and instruction. Okay, and in this school used to be bilingual. So Indonesian language has more space to be used in communication and also in instruction. But now they changed. They have kind of strict rule that the student and the teacher they have to use English. The instruction as well, yes, they use English. Even the material Indonesian national curriculum, the teacher have to rewritten. So, for example, like Bahasa Indonesia, Bahasa Indonesia, some of the book they translate into the language, the English as well. Islamic studies in English. So it's more work for the teachers. The teachers complain to me there's so many because they have to like rewrite the books in English. They use national curriculum, a material and national curriculum, but in English. And then some well, of course, because we are Indonesian, just like we are international, it's Islamic university here, right? But sometimes we in communication we still use Indonesian, right? For example, like I just been lecturing and using Indonesian. It's automatically come out because we are Indonesian. But there is kind of rule of boundaries when you can use English. And, maybe you can use perhaps Indonesia in communication. But they will repeatedly remind it use English something and that only in communication, but otherwise will English. But it's gradual, so it's gradual. It used to be bilingual with the portion of Bahasa Inggris were quite heavy as well. Because the teachers also in process, the student also in process. In 2014, when I trained the teachers, Lisa was still using WhatsApp. And because the children also still in adapting process. But when they start embracing the Cambridge curriculum, there are certain standard they have to follow. And the second question is for engagement, classroom engagement in English. Teachers, we naturally have to adapt what I call is to be adults. And our curriculum, so we adopted what we call is like scientific approach. So teacher have to do observation. Teacher have to do assessment. What the student needs. In my case, we discussed student as actors. So what type of topic that the student need, so they can engage, and what type of activity the student like, so they can develop their engagement. And then so for the instructional methods, earlier I said about project based and then task based, something that's more require active learning. Because engagement basically is a high participation, engage. So student learning centers, learning center approach, a lot of them, but practically is active in learning. You have to develop and adapt and evolve depending on the student needs, students' styles, accommodating individual style also. That's why home-based project and project-based is very good for accommodating individual styles. We know that one of the participants is natural language learners. Then why students keep complaining, oh, I'm boring. Why he wasn't really interested in his English classroom. Because for him, the lessons was too easy. So the teacher should aware of it. So the teacher should understand his needs. Maybe it's not common for the whole of us, but I think individuals and project hopefully would help with that. And some cases maybe make those type of children to lead the group because they know more. And another one I'm advocating here is a parents-teacher collaboration. So it's becoming critical for teachers to understand the student's background, their family condition, their parents' requirements. And whenever I live in overseas, there is always a system, what they call is like, in New Zealand, they call three-way learning conference, where students and the child parents and the teacher have a kind of forum. Yeah, they are connecting each other. They know, so the parents know what their child doing at school. They used to forget the apps. What the name of the app is? So I can access. Yeah. I can access the information. What my children doing today, and then some uh, the report from the teachers. And I remember the app they did, and I think we can develop also in Indonesia. So something that I don't really agree, the current practices is WhatsApp group that involve all the parents. I don't really agree with that because a WhatsApp group, parents, children, and teachers, it doesn't cover individual needs. And usually it's just to announce smart student. And the one who participate active in the group is the parents from smart student. And also in the end, it's only those type of those circle who really active and get involved. So I prefer individual pathway. So child and parent and teacher. So not a whole class. When we can have a teachers and parent conference or a forum, it's okay. Just for general information that inform all the student needs. not individual needs. So maybe when you start become a teacher or you are a teacher, you can think that way. You can think about finding the way how to make a learning platform that involve teachers and parent and child, individual. Another experience I experienced in New Zealand is my son's high school. In Auckland Grammar, that's the among the best school in Auckland for boys. Um, there is what they call as grammarian, a parent portal. So we even can access learning materials. We can access learning material. We can access tax assignment. We can access whether our child needs to hand in their assignments. So there is kind of communication. So we can develop that system knowledge. Right. Okay. And then for what characteristic of the bilingual school? Yeah, that's the difference between bilingual school and international school is the emphasis of using English use. Bilinguals coexisted. The two languages coexisted in terms of communication and instruction. International, it must be English or other international language they choose. Maybe like Arabic. So it's dependent on the school policy and school education. That's principally even though in the implementation and depending on the conditions, still we naturally will speak in our mother tongue. Okay, is that enough to answer your questions?
Thank you, Ibu Naning. So we also have questions from online participants, like from Gustin. Okay, so the person is actually asking about the definitions of academic success or academic interest in your study, and the person is also would like to have more discussion about Zidane's case. So yeah, it's about the academic success and or academic interest definition.
The academic success I use in my thesis. I often put the date in my thesis in my presentation today. But I usually I actually use tests. So there were three tests. First, at the beginning of the study, and then second, midterm test, and the last one is final test. So I use three tests to assess their academic achievement in English. The part in my thesis, yeah, there is a complete data I include that includes the gradient of the development of test results, clinical results. And then another one is in terms of practical tests, because the school use practical tests and paper tests. For practical tests, the children's do like a presentation and then speaking tests and project tests, like they go somewhere and speak to the native speaker or something like that. And the teacher used rubric for assessment. So basically, I use all what the teachers attend. I just got the data from the teachers. I didn't do evaluation myself. I used a portfolio from the teachers. That's and then for the Zidane please.
Yeah. Is there any response from the person who delivered the question, Sabian? Also, yeah, I hope the answers from Ibu Naning is actually answering the question. Is there any other questions? If not, then I would like to ask the question. Then,
Okay, I used to be police participation. So and then some that's difficult to measure like participation, engagement, and also teacher behavior. I used to like, but for something that's easier to measure like school, right? That's
Okay, so I think it will be the last questions from me. Reflecting on my experience as a mother of a 4-year-old son, my son is having a very unique interest in language. So he's actually developing the interest to language because of the alphabet symbols that is given. So he's not really interested to English. Instead, that he's interested to language that having a very unique symbol, such as like Greek, Russian, Chinese, yeah, some things like that. They right now he's actually very interested in Russians, like everything. Also asking like where is the Russians, and he knows about some facts about Russian as well. And he's also asked me to you need to know about Russian as well. Like, what is the alphabetic letters of this, mom? I don't know. You to know. I asked you. So it's also the some things that is not able to be learned in the schools as well because he's not attending the kindergarten, and of course the kindergarten is not providing Russian's language. So how we are as a parents are actually giving exposure or giving awareness to the children that I think English is actually things that you can learn also instead of only Russian, something like that.
So when that's do you want to direct your students, your students?
Yeah, I'm not saying that Russian is it's a 4-year-old student. Yeah.
So okay, let's connect with the development process. 4 years, for 4 years to read and learn the rest. Drawing maybe, drawing. It's more visualized. Yeah, more
Drawing,
visualized.
yeah.
Yeah, more visualized. I think so. 4 years is too young for us to force what we want to do to our children. I mean, you prefer for your child to learn English rather than Russian, right? So I think so. For 4 years, it just accept what is supposed to is, yeah, because the curiosity and also a creativity that's more important in character development. It's gonna be easier later for him to understand new languages. And if your son's more interest in symbols like code, yeah, symbol, because language itself is code, right? So alphabets, a language is code, just a language, a symbol of something. A language is symbol of communication. So your son's like visual things, okay? So it's okay, just follow what he is, what he likes, and then so and for the character development. And then you can start introducing English as well. Because I believe your son will focus on oh, this is English, oh, this is Arabic, oh, this is Russian, Russian, yeah, Russian language. I don't think his first attention is gonna be the type of language. And I think it's more connected to meanings. So I think you can start from that. The meaning, the words and its meaning and its context. First, like what I earlier I mentioned school, who has been researching some brain developments, brain language learning development, brain developments, and the relation of children, yeah, and language learnings. So the connection between child brain development and language learnings. So children, they are very good at imitating sounds. They are not aware, oh, this is the sound of English, this is the sound of Indonesian. Well, but they concern about the meaning, all these the words. But they don't really concern about, oh, I speak, this is English words. So just making meaning of things. It's okay. Just introduce English as well. Later, when yes, people and audience, we can make the distinctions themselves. Yeah.
Thank you, Ibu Triwahi, PhD. Respected audiences, this is the end of the 29th lunch talk. Thank you for your thoughtful question and your active participations. We are going to see you again in the next lunch talk. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.